LymeOnline's Francesca Evans, bringing you the latest news, sport, weather and what's on this weekend in the Lyme Regis area. Two West Dorset women have raised complaints after they were visited at their homes by a police officer after raising questions over sewage pollution in local rivers and bathing waters with their MP. Beverly Glock from Lyme Regis and Fran Swan from neighbouring village Fish Pond described the police visits as an intimidation tactic after raising questions on pollution with West Dorset MP Chris Loader ahead of a public meeting he was holding in Chiddock last week. Mr Loader said that dealing with threats from the public was sadly a reality and he had to always consider his personal safety on hosting such events. This is why police were made aware of the meeting and informed about the planned attendance of the two women who were not from Chiddock, but Mr Loader insisted he did not request that the police visit anyone in this incident. The home visits by a police constable have been criticised as a waste of police time and resources. Dorset Police say they wanted to understand the intention of the two women for attending the meeting to ensure public safety could be preserved, but they have since apologised for causing any alarm. The questions over sewage pollution in local rivers and bathing waters came after exceptionally high levels of faecal bacteria were found in the River Lyme and 2 spikes of E. coli were recorded off Lyme Regis Beach, which could result in a downgrading of the water quality. Now campaigners have released a new video with 2 local children calling on South West Water to protect the Lyme Bay Marine Reserve. Jovi and Sunny from Lyme Regis are asking the public to get behind their campaign and demand a change in law to prevent water companies from discharging sewage into rivers and better protect our marine environment. Celebrity chef and restaurateur Mark Hicks has said he will withdraw support for all events relating to the Town Council and tourism, as permission to retain the decked area outside his Oyster and Fish House restaurant is set to be turned down next week. Mr Hicks was granted permission to extend the outdoor eating area at his restaurant as the government relaxed rules on alfresco dining licences during the coronavirus pandemic. He created a 3-level deck using unused space in Lister Gardens, but permission for this has since expired, meaning he had to submit a formal planning application. As landowners of Lister Gardens, Lyme Regis Town Council initially supported the idea of making the decking permanent, saying it was amenable to the suggestion if a suitable price could be agreed. But the council's planning committee then recommended refusal of the plans, saying it would have a detrimental effect on the gardens. The Lyme Regis Society and Conservation Officer also raised objections, and the plans are now set to be rejected by Dorset Council next week. In response, Mr Hicks says he will now withdraw any support for the Town Council, local events and tourism, having previously brought thousands of visitors to the town and raised tens of thousands for charities and local good causes. One of Lyme Regis's newest and most popular eateries is set to close down in the new year. East Kitchen and Bar took the town by storm after opening in late 2021 under the direction of Natalie and James McCarthy, who also own the Red Panda street food takeaway in the town. The Coombe Street restaurant's concept of Asian sharing plates proved such a hit that diners struggled to get a reservation, but the cost of living crisis will now see East close down on New Year's Day. Owners have said the concept has become unviable amid rising running costs. Lyme Regis is now sparkling under red and gold following the switch-on of the town's Christmas illuminations. Despite torrential rain last weekend, the switch-on events went ahead, including a parade of Christmas lanterns featuring Lyme Regis majorettes and Father Christmas. Huge crowds gathered in the rain for a countdown to the big switch-on, with the new red and gold display being met with widespread approval. Tickets for a grand raffle to help raise funds for the lights can still be bought via the website shown on screen, with winners to be drawn on December 11th. At the end of October, Lyme Regis' first team took Premier League leaders Alphington to the wire, conceding a late winner in the dying minutes of the game and losing by the odd goal in 3. To rub salt into the wound, Brad Rose scored a late equaliser, only to see it ruled offside in a controversial decision by the home linesman. But the Seasiders returned home confident that they could compete with the best in the Devon and Exeter Premier and currently occupy second place to Alphington. But it was a very different story last Saturday. Their away East Devon Cup tie against the Exeter side was switched to the Exwick 3G pitch, never a happy hunting ground for Lyme's ageing squad. The Seasiders were thoroughly demolished in all departments as Alphington banged in 7 goals without reply, the biggest defeat the first team had experienced for several years. Lyme will have to put Saturday's result behind them tomorrow as they have an away Dorset Senior Trophy tie against Sturminster Newton, who are top of Dorset Premier League. Lyme Reserve's Division 3 game against Witheridge was called off last weekend due to the weather. On Saturday, the Resies are at home to Bampton with a 2:15 kick-off. Lyme First welcomed Dawlish seconds on Saturday and were on the end of a 5-1 loss that had the management scratching their heads. In this case, it transpired that 7 regulars for Dawlish Firsts featured in the game, giving the back 4 and midfield of Lyme a tough time for the first half. The Swallows are now in 6th place in Division 4, 1 point behind Sidmouth Town thirds, but with a game in hand. Charmouth booked their spot in the Perry Street Division 1 Cup final on Saturday in a tight semi-final against Donyat. Donyat took the lead in the 15th minute, but Charmouth quickly responded in the 20th, with Ben Stead assisting Ashley Williams to make it 1-1. Donyat regained the lead after Charmouth gave away a penalty on 25 minutes to go 2-1 down, but just before half-time, Williams struck again to make it 2-2. Charmouth were dominant in the second half, but the Donyat defence held firm. Penalties saw Charmouth convert all 5, while Donyat only managed 4. Charlie Bicknell and Louise Innes will host a Christmas cabaret featuring snippets of their show Snow Angel at the Marine Theatre this afternoon as part of the venue's new series of free community events, before the full show to be staged this evening with doors opening at 6:30 p.m. A charity quiz night will also be held in Lyme Village Hall from 7 p.m, raising funds for Click Sargent's Young Lives vs Cancer campaign. On Saturday, a coffee morning and tabletop sale will be held at the Woodmead Halls from 10:30 a.m. in aid of Lyme Regis majorettes. The Marine will host folk band The Wandering Hearts with doors opening at 7 p.m, and the Nag's Head will host its weekly live music night from 9 p.m. A largely cloudy but dry forecast for the weekend ahead, with some sunny spells expected this afternoon. Temperatures have also dropped and are expected to reach highs of just 9 degrees. Thanks for watching LymeOnline's video news bulletins. You can stay up to date with all the latest local news on our website. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or subscribe to our free weekly newsletter to ensure you never miss a thing. Have a great weekend.